Hi, guys. Oh, my hair. This is called hat hair. That's what that is. That is hat hair right there. Wow, that's a mess. Live chat. There we go. Hi, guys. What you doing? I was outside doing chores and then came inside and was doing more chores. And now my children doing chores. It's one of those days. Oh, goodness. So tell me who's here, where you're watching from, and what your weather is doing. You know me, I always like to see what the weather is doing. I know. It's like so cliche to be talking about the weather. You deal with this. This top half of my hair, though, is a disaster and a half. Okay. Let me fix my hair. I'm going to ask my little children to bring me my earbuds and my pemmican because I want to eat some pemmican. Hi, Robin. Hi, Uncle Big Guy. 52 and cloudy in Texas. Let me see what it is here. I'm looking. Hi, Amy. Here in Darien, Wisconsin. Sunny, chilly, breezy. Dude, my fingers are so cold. Here it is 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Real feel is 28. That's actually not bad. Past couple of days, it's been like 22. Feels like 5. This has been ridiculous. Hello, Jacques. Warm and 20 degrees Celsius in Melbourne, Australia. Hi, Tom. Hey, children. Some child.
Guys.
Some child. Hi, Barb.
Guys.
What?
Come here. Can you please bring me my earbud case, which is plugged in, and my pemmican?
Where's? I know what pemmican is. I don't know what it is.
Oh, on top of the speaker.
Oh, meat delivered.
So what?
Meat delivered.
Meat delivered. Oh, shoot. I need to give you.
5 steak.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
9.
can you put a did you find any New York strips? Can you put one on the cinder at 133? Can you unbury it? Hey V, can you go put one on the cinder at 133? I think it has to be unburied.
Mommy.
Your arms are longer. Darling.
Okay, so this is what we got for the meat.
Thank
3
you,
pounds of meat for me, 3 pounds of
Yeah.
meat for you, 3 pounds of meat for Noah, 4 steaks and 1.
Guys, you realize she's live, right?
Sorry, I know.
Oh no, they're fine.
I
Perfect.
just think it's funny.
Just carry that much.
Yes, that is the one that I want. Thank you very much.
Yes, you could have carried it, so I had to.
You were the big, strong man and carried the meat
That's
for the girl.
Where is it?
On the stool out there.
Go give her that.
Do you want me to shut the door?
Possibly leave out 6 pounds of meat. Ask Vernia to get you down and see if there's another bucket. They're full of potatoes right now. See if there's any more buckets.
Shut the door.
Please and thank you. This is my life. This is my life of chaos. I'm actually glad that they brought up the meat. I asked them a little while ago to go get beef, but then they were playing animal stuffy wedding. They're being creative. There's no electronics involved. My house is a disaster because they are cutting up confetti and playing, and I'm letting it happen because I'd rather them use their little minds than just their eyeballs to numbingly veg out in front of whatever electronic device there is. Hi, Raquel. So I actually wanted to talk to you guys about 2 things, which are actually kind of the same. Why I'm so ridiculously busy and beef. I was just watching a video from, there's a YouTube channel that I subscribe to. It's called The Max, M-A-C-S. Love his down-to-earth view on things. It has nothing to do with low carb or keto or anything like that. But he brings current affairs to the forefront without the doom and gloom of, oh my gosh, we're all going to die, or being political about anything. He doesn't do that, which is fantastic. And they have a freeze dryer, they have a homestead, so I love learning from them. But he just today, darling,
What do you want to do with the meat? Are we putting it in the freezer? Are we letting it
6
thaw?
pounds of ground beef need to sit out to thaw. The
Figured I'd let
rest
you
can
know
go in the freezer.
Yesterday I did pull a bunch of meat while you guys were gone.
Oh,
I did tell
fantastic.
you that. So
No, that's okay. Wherever, just stick it in whatever freezer. I just need 6 pounds to thaw. And then
6 pounds.
6 pounds to thaw. Yes.
6 pounds of thaw and the steaks.
Just put the 2 New Yorks, or one
Oh,
package of
okay.
the
I
double
was like
pack
2. Oh, wait, I was going to grab 2? No.
on the cinder, and then the rest of them can go into the freezer.
Okay.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Why am I so busy? And meat. That's what we're going to talk about. Just watching a video on the Max. I was already kind of getting ready to talk about this, and then he brought it up, and I went, yeah, okay. I'm going to take that as confirmation that this is what I need to talk about. So why am I so busy? Because I am crazy busy. I really, really am. And it is by choice. I do take breaks. I make sure to take time for myself and for my family. But I am so busy because I'm watching things get a little crazy. Anyone who watches the news would notice that things don't seem to be getting better. And there's a lot more going on behind the scenes that we aren't really aware of. And that's where the beef comes in. I was watching this video that the Max just put out, and he actually gives you some of the numbers, the percentages. And I didn't write them down because I was up to my wrists in potato water trying to process the potatoes that Richard brought home, which I think this next round I'm going to freeze dry and then pulverize. And I'm going to make my own potato flakes, basically. So we can have mashed potatoes stored away that I've done, processed myself. They were free, besides the labor. Anyways, so he's going through and he's talking about the cost of meat. It's already gone up, but it's about to get worse. In 2023 and even 2024, we're looking at an astronomical increase in meat prices. I have to wonder if it isn't slightly planned. We all know in the low carb space that cows are being blamed for the climate change, for the problems with the ozone layer, and all of the gas that they're leaking out is why we have so many problems. We know in the low carb space, it's not actually the cow's fault, not even a little bit. Medical industry produces way more pollution than the cows do. And the cows, it's a different cycle because the cows are eating the grass and they process that in their bodies. And then they do fart it out and it goes up into the atmosphere and then it is rained back down. It's this whole giant cycle. Hi, Tara. Hi, Marina. It's this whole giant cycle. Comes back down, waters the grass, goes into the soil, comes back up into the grass. It's a cycle that the cows are on. They are recycling the gas, the methane, the carbon, you name it. They're recycling it. We, with our man-made automobiles and our medical facilities and our airplanes and the gas and the exhaust, we aren't recycling it the same way. It's not the same. And yet, it's been pointed out this one animal is where all the focus is going. It's all on the cows. Why is it all on the cows? One of the things that I've noticed is that how dumb do they think we are, right? You really have to be convincing in some lies. And to do that, the magic ingredient is time. So by claiming that cows for the past, decade or more, are the reason that we are having such a problem with our environment. And they just keep proclaiming it with nothing backing it up. Absolutely, just like Ansel Keys with his whole fat makes you fat thing. They have nothing to back it up, but they're still proclaiming it from the rooftops with megaphones and saying, this is the problem. Just like with our health in other ways, the problem is genetic. You have depression and you're never going to get over that. So here is a pill to fix it, says the person who used to be on numerous medications for her depression. Ironically, I fixed it with my food. I guess I didn't need your remedy. So they have now created a new problem in the eyes of the world. They, the infamous they, have said that cows are the problem. But we can't live without cows. So what's the solution? It's twofold. We can go with lab-grown meat, which we all know, there's been talk about that, or GMO cows. They're actually talking about GMOing the animals now, the same way that they've done it to your plants. So if cows become, by some crazy stretch of the imagination, outlawed, or they become so astronomically out of reach because the price point is so high simply due to the taxes that are placed on the farmers and the ranchers, how on earth are we going to be able to get our meat when, oh wait, they've come up with the solution for you? Lab-grown meat and GMO'd cows. And they're talking about GMOing these cows so that they are smaller, so that they don't take nearly as long to grow. And that way they aren't releasing as much gas into the environment for us. So sweet. I know, non-farting cows. Have you guys seen, I think I heard that they even tried like backpacks that the cows wear, that there was a thing that would go over their butt and like collect the methane. Y'all, I can't make this stuff up. This is insane. So I'm sure that they're going to GMO these cows somewhere, some way, somehow, so that they're not farting nearly as much. They're going to be smaller. They're going to be less hairy. I can't even keep up with it. Seriously. So he talks about it in this video, and usually he links a bunch of stuff down below. This is where we're at right now. This is on the horizon. They've been talking about this and doing this. Oh, and the other thing he brought up, they have this lab-grown chicken. Apparently, they have, unbeknownst to the populace at large, been testing it on people in restaurants. So they've taken this GMO fake lab-grown chicken and they have given it to some restaurants and they have served it to their customers. This is why I am so busy. Because I want to do everything that I can in my power to keep eating real food, real meat, and storing it up for what may come. I'll have to link his video. I might be able to add a card. If I'm able to add a card to my live, then I'll put it up there. If not, then I will put it down below in the description box. I will link to the video that I'm referring to. The YouTube channel is called The Max. He just put MACS, The Max, MACS. He just put it out and he's talking about that my phone's upside down. It's not going to recognize my face. It's upside down. He just put it out. Let me go check and see. It says beef prices will skyrocket because of this control of the meat industry. So I will link it down below. And I can look and see if there's any links of stuff. Sometimes he links the articles and things like that. I don't see anything right now off the top of my head, but that's kind of to the point that we're at, Blaze. Now, you might have to start buying only organic meat. Well, we all know organic is way more expensive. So in this video, he gives several options to be able to not only provide for yourself to make sure you're actually getting what you're being told you're getting, because you know that the supermarkets are going to start eventually. Well, let's take this chicken, but then let's throw in a little bit of this lab-grown chicken, because it's still chicken, right? It's still chicken. So it's totally fine. And we'll just call it something spiffy on the label so that you don't know what's actually in it, that it's the GMO chicken, chicken plus broth. Well, what's the broth made out of? This GMO lab-grown chicken. You know that it's going to come to that point. As it is right now, eggs have gone up by nearly, I think he says in the video, it's like 46%. My eggs have gone up far more than that, from the $3 to we're up at $17 now for the box of 5 dozen eggs. I have started just simply going to my local lady, because all of my chickens, none of them are laying eggs yet. This is insane. I did lock them all in their coop for 48 hours, by the way, with food and water. Not a single egg. So either there is a snake that is going in there and eating the eggs, or I have no idea. I'm totally clueless. Anyways, regardless, this is where we're at. And I truly believe that us low carbers need to be more intentional about our emergency preparations, about our long-term, what if the stuff hits the fan preparations. What if a hurricane comes? Been there, done that. What about the 2 dozen tornadoes that just ripped through the States, killing 2 people was the last count that I saw at the end of November? Everything is getting more intense. Everything is getting more crazy. Really, truly, it's not going to get better. Now, I don't think that any of us should live in fear. I think that we should live in power, and that we should look at anything and we should say, what can I affect? What can I do to control this? That needs to be our focus, not to freak out and not to get distracted either. My next video that I'm going to record tomorrow, that's going to go up on Saturday, is actually going to be about specifically that. Is going to be about us low carbers, that if we're going to live through whatever could potentially happen, I hope and pray that it is decades into the future. But I'm kind of a realist. I have to say, I don't think it's going to be decades away. I think it's coming sooner than a lot of us want it to be. And I don't have to be a doomsdayer to see that prices are on the rise. I don't have to be worried about, what could happen in 5 years. I need to kind of worry about what's going to happen in just like 1 year. The meat prices alone, the price of eggs, and now they're talking about messing with our animals. Every time we try to play God, it goes very poorly. It doesn't work well. And this is what we are doing. We are starting to look at messing with the animals. Oh, the sun is coming out. It's beautiful. This is what they're talking, and it's in the public's eye now. How much have they been doing? How much have they been doing behind closed doors? Behind the curtain, as it was. How much have they been doing that we don't know about, that we're just now starting to get a little bit of information about? They are already serving this chicken to people. Now, I've heard a lot of theories, and there's probably studies to back this up, but the GMO plants are altering people's DNA, because the GMO in the plant itself enters into our body, and our body uses some of those chemicals to build things with, and it's altering our own DNA with the GMO plants. How much more could it alter our DNA if it's from an animal, that there's no conversion necessary? It's in a bioavailable form. How much more could that possibly affect us? I have to say, it's scary to think about. So this war on cows, you can kind of, when you take a step back, you can kind of see where they're going with this. First, they create the problem, and then they create the solution. And they want you to not think about what you're putting into your body. They want you to not think about where the answer is coming from. Better living through chemistry is one of the things I was always told when it came to any medication. I prefer the chemistry that my own body can try to do, but is there a time and a place for medications? 100%. Is there a time and a place to go to the doctor? Yep. I think we're conditioned to do it far, far, far too much and rely on them far too heavily. Not to say that you should never do that, not to say that you should never go to the doctor, but if there's a way that you can take care of yourself outside of that. And I tried. Good night. I tried. I have not been so sick in such a long time. I'm currently on antibiotics right now. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. But whatever this was that we had, the kids got sick. I got sick. I got so sick. And I truly believe it has to do with the Lyme disease. It altered the way that my body functions because I didn't get sick for 3 years until I moved here and got Lyme. It was one of the first indications that I knew something was wrong, was when I started getting sick again. So I got ridiculously sick, double ear infection, sinus infection. It moved into my eyes. It was coming out of my sinuses into my eyes and down into my chest. I had no choice. I had to go to the doctor and get on the antibiotics because everything I was doing was trying to support my system naturally to fight on its own. My body obviously does not do that very well anymore. I have no choice, but in some instances, to rely on the medications and the doctors. Unfortunately, this is where we're at. I could be cross about it. I could be really depressed about it, or I can go, I can only do the best that I can do. You know, carnivore is supposed to fix everything. I got Lyme while I was carnivore. Keto got me off of all of my medications. Does it mean that I'm never going to be upset again? No. Our food can take us so far, but sometimes it can only take us so far. And I would love, oh gosh, my body, and pretty sure that there's mold. That's it. There's so much. There's so much. And in that case, changing my food, while it does help, is not going to completely heal and cure everything. So I have to be open-minded about a lot of things right now. But when he was talking about the fact that they have already served this chicken to people, that just hit me. And I was just like, oh, darn. It's not safe. We already knew it wasn't safe. You go to a restaurant, you're going to get seed oils. You already know that. You're going to get these poisonous things. But it's next level at this point in time because the animals, and I have to wonder, okay, this meat grown lab or this GMO, cow, meat grown lab grown meat. I have to wonder, is it as bioavailable to us as real true meat is? Because if it is, we're going to absorb those GMOs 10 times faster. We have been conditioned over the past decade or two, 7 technically, to believe that plant-based is the way to go. They got a good foothold for a while. I mean, the standard American diet is plant-based. No questions asked. If you look at the My Plate, 75% of that plate is plants, fruits and veggies and grains. That is all plants. So we're already plant-based. Like, we got there. We're pushing back. We're like, the type of plant does make a difference. And how about we bring in some more of the, the actual real food? So now we're doing this. Well, they're going to attack this next thing. There's the doggies. Two doggy invaders. So this is the next thing, is your meat. And a lot of people, oh gosh, leaky gut. Can you imagine leaky gut with GMO'd meat? Like, this is terrifying. And this is why I'm going this direction. This is why I'm so busy. This is why I know it's hard to understand for some people. I can go to the grocery store and get ground beef for $2 to $3 cheaper than what I can get it at my butcher. But I actually know my butcher. And I know the cow. I can go out and I can see the cow before it gets sent off to my butcher. Technically, I could butcher it myself. And I may get to that point. I really might. I don't know. But I can go out there and I can see that cow. I can look at the medical history of that cow. And then it goes to the butcher. I'm trusting, I have a good relationship with my butcher to know that they're not adding any MSG. They aren't adding any red dye 40 to my meat to make it look all really pretty. Because some of them actually do that. Or they wash it with bleach. They'll like wash the meat with bleach. So getting to know where your food's coming from is huge, and more so now than ever. Because yes, my ground beef costs more, but guess what? My ribeyes cost a whole lot less. The kids go out there. I sent them out freezer shopping is what we call it. This is one of the reasons I don't do grocery hauls for you guys, because I don't buy meat from the grocery store. I buy meat from my local farm. And we have a ton already stored up of chicken, which I'm kind of glad now. I'm like, yeah, every time there was a sale, we would buy 2 and we would put one in the freezer. So we have a huge stock of chicken, which we're still going through. But I know where my meat comes from. And my ribeyes are also $5 a pound. And my New York steaks are also, my New York strips are also $5 a pound. Everything that I get, yes, my ground beef is $5 a pound. My tenderloin is $5 a pound. Everything is $5 a pound. And for everyone in your different areas, it could be different. I think now more than ever, it is so important to begin learning where your food comes from. Not just the plants, but the animals too. Getting a relationship with a rancher. And that's the other thing. For a lot of people, if they are raising their animals right, their costs don't go up by much. Now, if you have a big commercial industry where you're grass-fed, grass-finished, they're probably still harvesting with combines, and they are using fuel-driven vehicles to move the food depending on where the animals are living. Can they graze all year long, or is there a bunch of snows and then they have to have hay brought in? There's a lot of things that factor into it. But for a lot of people who have small operations, their costs really haven't gone up that much. And so it's not transferring over to us as the consumer. But the grocery store, they're talking about next year and into the following year, an astronomical leap in the price of meat. So I want to encourage everyone, if you have the option to get your meat locally, even if you have to drive 4 hours to go and get your meat, become part of a co-op, get to know a butcher, you might want to start working on those relationships now. Because what's really cool about our guy, our rancher that we get our cows from, I can message him and say, hey, can you squeeze us in? We have been loyal customers of his for years. So he'll go, absolutely, I'll get you one. He will bump somebody else if he has to get us something. If it comes down to the wire and you are having to pay ridiculously high prices in the grocery store, people are going to start going out and they're going to figure out that, oh, cows come from ranches. Huh. I should go see if I can get it from the ranch and skip the grocery store. Someone else is going to have this idea and they're going to go to your rancher and they're going to say, hey, hi, I'm brand new. I want some meat. And if you have a really good working relationship with your rancher or your butcher, they're going to say, I'm sorry, what I have is already claimed. And they're not going to kick you off because they know that you are on a rotation. You do this consistently. Yes, it can be a lot out of pocket up front. But soon it may not even be possible for you to get anything. So with that knowledge in mind, that very soon in the next year or two, you could be looking at $50 a pound for meat. What person, what carnivore is going to be able to function at $25 a pound for chicken? $50 a pound for meat. Eggs, good night. At $30 for 5 dozen, $50 for 5 dozen. They've taken it to the next level. This is where we're at. So if you have the ability to begin putting away food for this eventuality, because they've made it clear this is where they're going with it. This is what is next. Our long-term survival as low carbers may depend on our ability and our foresight to see what is coming down the line and preparing for it. Not to worry about anything else on the horizon. That alone, for a lot of us, is enough to get us moving in the right direction. So that's why I am freeze-drying potatoes. I'm not going to eat the potatoes unless I have no other choice. But if it comes down to it and I have no meat, eating potatoes is going to be preferable to starving. So many times we have to do things that we don't want to do. And I think that that's one of the things that I've learned through my journey more than anything else. I wanted to simply lose weight. I went keto. I got off all my medications. I found so much healing. I then went to carnivore for the ultimate healing, and it did not work for me. So even with our best laid intentions, sometimes it doesn't work. Now, I do know a lot of people who have been told and who do not believe that they should be preparing. So this does not mean it's for everybody. But I would honestly say that everyone should take a step back and look around and do your own research and go, is this real? Like, is this really real? Is there a potential for this to happen? How can I affect my personal situation in a positive manner if this were to come down the line? Now, let's say that it doesn't happen. How amazing would that be? That in 2 years, the price of beef hasn't gone up more than just a little minute amount. What has it hurt me? It hasn't hurt me anything. Because I am prepared for in case something else is going to come down the line, for a blizzard. Because weather this year, y'all, the weather this year has been insane. I live in Wisconsin. It's cold here. It's very cold, and we get blizzards. So what happens if the power lines are taken down in my very rural area due to an ice storm or a blizzard that has knocked down a tree? I have no power. What do I do in that situation? What if we end up getting 5 feet of snow, just like New York did, in 3 days? What do I do in those situations? So I am attempting right now to not live in fear But look at all of those situations as a potential. And I see it as more of a challenge. I go, what could I do in that situation? What could I affect? How would I overcome? Because I do not want to function in a spirit of fear or defeat or sadness. I want to function in cover the kids' ears. I'm a badass. I don't care what gets thrown at me. I will find a way to overcome it. And that's the way that I want all of you to look at things. We're amazing. We are smart. We are intelligent. And we can overcome. Look at the way that we are working to overcome addictions to sugar and processed foods. We are above and beyond so many other people that won't even, that say, I could never do what you do. Let's take it to the next step. When the prices of whatever are through the roof, people go, how can you afford that? And you go, it's because I started saving it a year ago. When some crazy woman on my TV, because y'all watch me on the TV, some crazy woman on YouTube said, you might want to put away a couple extra cans of Spam. Does Spam have junk in it? Yep, it does. But it also has meat in it and fat, a lot of fat, a lot of fat. Is it ideal? Nope. But is it better than the potatoes? Heck yeah. In the situations, would I rather eat the Spam or the potatoes? Depends on how bad the situation is. I might mix the two. But I'm going to go for the Spam first. If you can do your Spam, your sardines. People are doing all the sardine fasts and stuff like that now. I'm like, guess what? Perfect to last you for a long, long, long time. Give you incredible nutrition. So this is where I'm at. This is where I'm hoping a lot of you can be at as well. Spam, sardines, tuna, let me see, canned chicken. Pray that it's still real chicken. Canned chicken, salmon. Oh, man, it's been so long since I've even had salmon. I don't think we have any left in the freezers. So sad. I did not I just have a couple of packages of salmon. I do have some salmon in packages. Let me see. My pemmican. Oh, the pemmican is so good. So I took the stuff that was too hard, and it's funny. Oh, yes, corned beef. Exactly. The stuff that I made in my video, I used the food processor. I decided to put it fat and all into my Vitamix, and I used my plunger to plunge it down. It kind of whipped the tallow. It was so cool. It's so good. So look at it now. So there is my very, very, very soft pemmican. It doesn't hurt my gums. It's wonderful. So, pemmican, jerky, meat sticks, sausages. Anyway, that you can look at putting up some food for what is now being declared as this is the next step. We can see the writing on the wall. You can see the writing on the wall. This is where it's going. They created the problem, and now they're going to give you the solution. Here's your lab-grown GMO meat. Aren't we wonderful? Here, take your pill with it too. This is where we're at. You don't have to believe anything else. But that is really hard to ignore. So I encourage you, in your low-carb journey, think about another thing. Here's another thing. What happens if Horrible situation, hurricanes, tornadoes, XYZ. FEMA has to get involved, and you are getting these rations in because you have no food, no nothing. They are not going to bring you keto options. They are going to bring you what they bring everybody else. In those situations, how much of a lifesaver could it be to have a carnivore bar in your bag? Several carnivore bars in your bag so that you can at least get some good nutrition along with the junk that they have brought you. This is where I think we need to start focusing, because we don't know what the future holds, but we're starting to get a little bit of a glimpse of where it's going. And it's not my favorite. I don't really like the view right now. Instead of operating in fear, I go, okay, let's see what I can come up with then. I'm sorry, I've totally been ignoring the chat. So I'm going to go by the non-farting cows. Yes, the elites will get all the meat. Oh yeah, they're not going to eat this stuff. They're not going to. Let me tell you, if I was a billionaire, I could afford $50 a pound for ribeye, for meat, for ground beef, whatever. Poultry. This is like pocket change. I can handle that. That's not a problem. The lowly peasants, y'all can eat the grains. Let them eat cake. What can I say? Oh, crickets. Yes, crickets. There's the crickets too. Oh, the crickets. Let me see. Allergies are going to skyrocket. They're already bad enough. We got to add this on top of it too. Oh, golly. Yes. So Tara, it's been a long time. She said she really likes the direction of my channel lately. I've been in the same mindset for a while now, part of why we moved as well. It's been on my heart for probably the past 5 years. But finding a way to talk about it without becoming a conspiracy theorist, without becoming a nut that is a doomsdayer, that was the part that I was like, I don't know how to work this. But now the prices of the meat, it's like, there you go. That's all I have to say for most people. And they go, darn, I think I'm in trouble. Yeah, you definitely have to be more intentional about your low carb food. And I can grow a garden with all kinds of low carb options, but I don't think I can live on that. I need the meat. I need the animals. I need the animal fat. So that is my goal. A lot of the stuff that's been happening has already happened way faster than we originally thought. My dad, who was like, I pray that I am dead before anything bad happens, before any of this kind of stuff happens. Here we are. My dad's like, well, darn, I didn't get out quite fast enough. He's like, okay, well, it's a good thing he's of course got some stuff. But, So, yes, we're not supposed to have these conversations without being canceled. So I'm just talking about the prices of food here, people. I'm talking about GMOs and the prices of food. That is what I'm talking about. Where you go after that is totally on you. I'm looking at inflation. I'm looking at everything else that is coming down the line. Gas prices are good for right now. 2 years ago, they were like less than half of what they are now. So it's not good. They're lower than they have been in the past 6 months. Definitely not good. And I kind of wonder if come January, things are going to be nuts with the gas prices. I don't know. We're going to see. Oh, my husband. Hi, my love. You must be on break. He's at work right now. So, yeah. So, let me see. Been telling my dad for years now. He's freaking out. I've been talking about this forever. I'm like, oh, pay attention. I know you would love to just like stick your head in the sand, and you can't stick your head in the sand on this. You really can't. So, let me see. I have so much meat in my freezer, all red meat most of the time I eat. Then I got my blood test done and I found out my ferritin is super high. I'm not sure if I should keep eating red meat. Okay, so ferritin being super high, there's a lot more to it than that. Ferritin is a really good indication of inflammation in your body. So could you eating tons of red meat contribute to that? It could. Could you drinking well water, could that have something to do with it? Possibly. But ferritin shows inflammation in the body. It shows that there is a problem. My ferritin is like 278 or something like that. I have ridiculously high ferritin. I also have Lyme disease and H. pylori and several autoimmune conditions that we have not even bothered to name or nail down at this point in time, and 8 co-infections to go along with the Lyme. I've got a little bit of stuff going on. So it makes sense that my ferritin is elevated. The thing is, I recommend that you not look at any one marker. You don't look at just one number, like LDL. You don't just look at your LDL and go, I'm going to die. We look at your entire cholesterol panel. We look and see what your triglycerides and your HDL are doing. And then we can go, okay, let's take all this other stuff into account, and then let's look at your LDL. Do not take just ferritin and run away with it. You are a whole person. What happens to your arm is going to affect what happens to your leg. It really will. You are a whole person and you function as a whole. So don't take one number, focus on the one number, and then freak out. There's a lot more to it than just, I have high ferritin, I shouldn't eat red meat. There's so much more to it than that. And you could have even higher ferritin if you quit eating red meat and then you have really bad inflammation because of the things that you're eating. There is just like, there's so much. Hi, Annabella. My ear hurts. I actually need to go take some more medicine because my ear really hurts. Because I am superfluous. I need a t-shirt. I need a t-shirt. Well, now at this point in time, I need a sweatshirt that says superfluous with wings. That's what I need. Superfluous with wings.
Necessary detail now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So my ear hurts. My ear hurts right now. Blaze says, perfect keto mac and cheese, keto chow, my pantry's back up. Keto bricks, keto chow, carnivore bar. Do I have an amazing video that I'm going to record for you guys with numbers and statistics and breakdown of things similar to this with my carnivore bar box. I'm so excited. So excited. So, Barb says, the time between conspiracy theory and what is acknowledged as truth is about 6 months. Her ears get better when I tell dad jokes. Oh my Lord. Lies.
I'm a little warm.
Straight up. You are a little warm. My daughter is laying on her bed and she is covered in doggies. They are both like just they're passed out too. It's adorable. Do you guys know the difference between dad jokes and mom jokes? Mom jokes are actually funny. You can ask my children. They all agree. Mom jokes are funny. Considering I can make you shoot anything out of your nose.
Or laugh so hard my throat starts to hurt.
Have you ever peed yourself? No?
Not yet.
No. It was hilarious, and you know it. My dear husband. Who else is texting me? Oh. Nobody. There's no text. It's already been seen. I know, so I did get your text, my love. Your food will be ready when you get home. My darling.
You seem to be in a good mood.
Now.
Feel better after being.
I'm eating pemmican. I'm good now. So, this is where we're at, guys. I'd love to say it's not going to happen. I'd love to say your food is everything and it will fix everything. And for some people, it 100% is. What if you can't get that food? What if you can't? What if you cannot get your meat that is not GMO? What if you cannot get your chicken that is not lab grown? What is that going to do to you then? It's time for you to start looking at potential ways to make sure that you're covered in an emergency, even if it's something like a blizzard or a hurricane or a tornado or goodness, so many other things to choose from. I'm still waiting on that. I'm just glad I got out of California before the big one hits again. I don't want to. Earthquakes freak me out. My pemmican, that is what I'm eating right now. Have fun, love. Go play electronics. Don't break anything.
Unless that's part of the job. It maybe breaks it.
We hope for the best and plan for the worst. It's better to be covered than wishing later that you coulda, shoulda, woulda. Right?
The dogs have grown in their winter coats since the day.
Annabella says, I'm adding some fruit into my diet. I just can't afford to eat carnivore at the moment. Yeah. It's for me and my kids. Oh, goodness. There's no way. There's no way that we can keep eating just meat and fat.
Well, with your 4 children and
No,
husband
not
and
with the 4
yourself
children and
animals and
there's just too much. So we are not carnivore anymore. We are picky about what we're eating. Next year, I'm going to grow a garden. It's going to be amazing. Barb, I will pray that you will get out of California
Get out.
before something bad happens.
Get out.
Good night.
Not you. Not the dog.
The dog is like, you want me to get out?
No.
Hmm?
No. You can stay. See, look what you did.
Goblin dog.
Girl. Her winter coat has grown in, so she's extra fluffy now.
She is super fluffy. I love it.
She's so soft.
Let me see.
I wish your people could feel her. She's very soft.
Oh, Barb, Amelia said, what are you waiting for? Oh, man. You know what? For us, personally, it took us years to get out of California. But that was because Richard's 2 youngest, Cassidy and Noah, were in California. His ex-wife lived there. We were a mile away from each other, I think. Our houses. It was pretty close. And they were too young. And we didn't want to leave them. So we waited until both families were ready to leave. And now the kids are old enough that it's doable to, they're a month with us, a month with mom. Going back and forth, we don't live super close anymore. And so for us, it took a while. We had to wait. We had to be patient. So I completely understand the waiting for the right moment and for everyone involved to be ready to do that. And it's hard. It's really hard, but it happened when it was supposed to happen. And that's all I know. And I am grateful that it happened when it happened and trust that there was a reason that I had to stay longer. I don't know what it is. Anyways, I should let you guys go. My children are supposed to be cleaning their rooms. But I'm assuming they probably got a little bit distracted because my kids are up there right now. I can hear laughing and stomping. There's not usually laughing and stomping involved in cleaning up the rooms. So, anyways, thanks guys for hanging out for a little bit. We are going to get our final chores done. Then we have our meeting tonight with the VIPs. And if you guys don't know, I have a Mighty Network. There is a free group. The link is down below. I will see if I can add the Max link. I'll put it down in the description if nothing else. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.